Alright, so I shot this video about a year ago. I decided to put all the pieces together that I did have just to show you the challenges and how I fixed them and the few things I learned along the way. So I hope you like the video and just take a flashback to 2020 and see where that goes. Enjoy! Alright, so first things first, we're going to remove the books from the shelves, so you get all that out of the way, and then start to remove the structure of the shelf off the wall. Now, with concrete, it's much better if you're using concrete screws, or even if you put wall plugs in and put screws in. However, in this case, the persons who built this, they did use nails, which more than likely means that the wall is going to have a chip for every nail we take out, and then we're going to have to go back and patch that later, which you'll see shortly. And as you can see, I brought in a bit of help just to make this go along a bit quicker, as demolition isn't always as fun as most persons think if you're trying to preserve what you already have. So after that, we're going to go right into patching the holes that were left back in the wall. First thing I did was to remove the extra chips that were in the holes, and then I filled those holes with a chewed concrete solution, and then came back now with mortar and covered it up to maintain the texture of the wall, and also just to have a firmer surface for when I'm painting and when anyone pushes against it. Now we get to the front part. We're going to cover the entire wall surface with some primer. 2 coats should be good, just to make sure that you don't have any of that yellow showing up. It's also a good idea to confirm the curing time for the tape that you use, just to make sure there's no issues when you're removing the tape from the wall. Just remember that wherever you put the tape is exactly where your cuts are going to be, so you want to make sure that they're angled properly, they're straight, and that you don't have any extra tape going over onto another one, or that's what's going to be left back as well. So you can get into this part of it, which will be designing where you want your cuts and colors to go, which is really up to you. Great thing to note while doing this part is that you should actually be pulling the tape at a 45 degree. It actually assists with how the tape comes off, and prevents any additional tears that may happen. You'll see as it comes along that I did have a few patches come out on the tape, which I'll show you how to fix that in a few moments. First thing you're going to want to do is just remove any of the loose paint that is left back on the wall, so you don't have any bulkage or warped looking at the end of it. Because it's a latex paint as well, it's a bit easier to pull off. Now you can find one of these sponge brushes at your local hardware store. They're pretty easy to locate, and they'll actually help you with fine-tuning that crisp line you're looking for in all of your cuts. You can see that I shaped up most of my pieces as I went along, just to make sure that all the edges are straight and has a clean cut to them. So this is the finished product of the entire accent wall. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to like the page and also to subscribe and ring that bell so that you can show your support. Alright.